I won't dance, don't ask me. I won't dance, don't ask me. I won't dance, madam, with you. My heart won't let my feet do things they should do. Say, you know what? You're lovely. You know what?
Hey guys, and welcome to the second episode of P.S. I Love You Season 2, brought to you by AdCreate Society. For this episode, we'll be teaching you how to do a Polaroid montage. And just to show you a little preview of what your expected product is supposed to look like, here's a photo that I edited last weekend. As you can see, it is a montage, or as our title says, a collage. A collage made up of Polaroids. There. Let's move on with our tutorial. First, select an image that you want to edit. For me, it's going to be an image of Marilyn Monroe. Open it with Adobe Photoshop. There. With this done, you have to duplicate your background layer. To do this, simply right-click on your background layer thumbnail and select Duplicate Layer, or you could just use the shortcuts Ctrl-J for Windows or Command-J for Mac, which I shall be doing. There. Now I have Layer 1. Afterwards, you need to create a new blank layer. To do this, select the background layer again, and then click on the Create New Layer icon right here. And then you will have Layer 2. Afterwards, you need to make the selection black. And to do this, you first have to make sure that your foreground color is black. If ever it's white, simply use this icon, click on it to change the colors, and there. With black as our foreground color, simply press the shortcuts Option Delete for Mac or Alt Backspace for Windows. There. Don't be alarmed if you don't see any difference with your image, because as you can see over here, Layer 1 is in fact on top of Layer 2. So that means that whatever happened here in Layer 2 is beneath Layer 1, so you really can't see it. Now the next step is creating a new blank layer. Now we have Layer 3. Afterwards, you need to select your rectangular marquee tool, click on it, or just press M, and then drag it across your image to create this shape. There. Now with what you just did, this area that you just chose will actually be the image that will appear in your first Polaroid. Now don't be alarmed that you just randomly chose a position or something, because later on you can adjust your image. Now the next step is filling the selection with black, like what we did with Layer 2. Simply just use the shortcuts Alt Backspace for Windows and Option Delete for Mac. And there. Now we have this black selection over here. Now we're going to create a clipping mask for this filled selection. A clipping mask basically just means that the portion that we selected in the image in Layer 1 will be clipped to the black selection in Layer 3. And by doing so, this portion of the image will be the only thing seen while the rest will be black. Now to do so, first select Layer 1 and then click on your Layer menu and then select Create Clipping Mask. There, I only have this portion scene. Next, you need to make another blank layer. So to do so, you need to go back to your layer 2, select it, and click on create new layer. And now you have layer 4 beneath layer 3. Afterwards, you need to once again use your rectangular marquee tool, and what we're going to do now is to create a border for our Polaroid. So you need to make sure that the lower portion is longer than the other sides, because that's how the proportions of Polaroids go. So, there, I'm happy with that, so I'm going to release it. And now we need to fill it with white. Since we already have white as our background color, we simply have to use the shortcuts Command-Delete for Mac or Control-Delete for Windows. Do that. And now we have our very first Polaroid. The next thing we're going to do is to create a drop shadow layer. We're going to do this so that once we have other Polaroids compiled on top of each other, it's not going to look flat. It's going to have this shadowy effect beneath it so that it would appear pretty much 3D. To do so, make sure you have layer 4 selected, and then click on your layer style icon over here and select drop shadow. Make your opacity just 30%. You could probably increase it and make it 35 or so, but for now, let's just make it a 30%. And then make your angle 120. And then just click OK. We're done. You won't really see any difference because you only have one Polaroid for now. But later on, once you have all the others compiled, you'll see it. Now, since we have our Polaroid here, it kind of looks stiff, doesn't it? Because it's all straight and regal looking. To make it more interesting, we're going to select both layers 3 and 4. To do that, since we already have layer 4 selected, just press Shift and then click on layer 3. And then we're going to use the shortcuts Command-T or Control-T in order to bring out our free transform handles. So do that, press Command-T or Control-T. And with our free transform handles out, click outside the border and simply drag to rotate. Now, doesn't it look more interesting? Let's do that. As I said earlier, it didn't really matter where you chose to drag your marquee tool, because once you already have both layers 3 and 4 selected, with your free transform handles out, you can drag it across your image and choose which position or placement you want it to be in. So for me, this placement works. So once you're happy, just press enter and voila! You're done with your first Polaroid. And using layers 4, 3, and 1, we're going to make more Polaroids. Yes, we're not going to do the other steps anymore. We're just going to use this shortcut. It's going to make our lives easier. So you need to have layers 4, 3, and 1 selected. So since we already have the other two highlighted in blue, simply just press Shift again, Shift, and then click on layer 1. And use the shortcuts Command-G or Control-G in order to make a layer group. It will make duplicating these layers easier. So press it. Now we have group 1. Now, with this layer group, as I said earlier, we can duplicate it and create more Polaroids. To do so, simply just drag it and release to this icon, the one that makes the new layers. Create a new layer icon. And now we have group 1 copy. You can't see the other Polaroid yet because group 1 copy is directly above group 1, which means that our second Polaroid is directly above our first Polaroid. Now to adjust, click on this triangle and select layers 3 and 4 again, as we did earlier. So click on layer 3, then shift, click layer 4, and then let's bring out the free transform handles again. So Command T or Control T, and simply drag. There. Now afterwards, just rotate it just so it wouldn't look stiff and also repetitive. And then when you're happy with this position, just press enter. And for the rest of the tutorial, you'll just basically be doing the same thing. And as you can notice, if you notice, I mean, you can see the drop shadow effect over here. See? It makes it all look 3D, not so flat. Now let's make more Polaroids. So just repeat the process. Select layer 3, shift, click on layer 4, then Command T or Control T, then drag. There. Rotate to make things prettier, then enter when you're happy. I think I'm going to make one more layer, one more Polaroid. Make it look nicer. Do the whole process again, so shift, click on layer 4, Command T, Control T, drag, place it right over here, and rotate. And there! Press enter when you're happy. But I'm not happy. As you can see, this border over here is pretty much covering up Marilyn Monroe's nose. I don't really like that. So I think I'm going to put this Polaroid beneath this one over here. And to do so, simply just drag group 1 copy 3 underneath group 1 copy 1. And then there, you have it. But I think I'll adjust it more to make it all look pretty. And there. Rotate until you're happy. And there. I'm happy with my image. Now, if you're also happy, then we're done. We just have to merge our layers by right-clicking on your background layer and selecting Merge Visible. And we're finally done. You now have your Polaroid montage. Congratulations! Thank you for watching this video, and I hope that you would stay tuned for the next episode of P.S. I Love You.